What's going on? YouTube, listen up, young elder gang. This is Ted Strokes at you with another banger. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video. Fam, I hope this video get at least 100,000 likes in this video. You will find history definitions, scripture, information, and best of all, what we Americans have been deprived of from the beginning. The truth, keep in mind, this content used in this video is intended for entertainment, educational, and informational purposes only, and does not constitute legal advice or create an attorney-client relationship. You should not act upon any information on this site without seeking the advice of a competent attorney for your specific situation. We will give you the total truth as we best understand it today. Be sure to hit that like button, young elder gang. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Hit that bell, and don't forget to check back with us every day for new content. Let's talk about a word that sounds intimidating. A word you've probably heard tossed around in news headlines, history books, and political debates, but rarely see explained in plain English. It's a word that might seem distant or abstract, but it's actually central to your life: sovereignty. At its core, sovereignty simply means having the final say, being the boss, the ultimate authority over your own decisions. For countries, it's about making your own rules and not taking orders from others. It's the power to govern yourself, to decide your own path without interference. But here's the twist. In America's founding, sovereignty was supposed to start with you, the individual, not just the nation. The Declaration of Independence wasn't just a breakup letter to a king. It declared that your rights to life, liberty, and happiness are yours by nature, not government permission. These rights are inalienable, meaning they can't be taken away or given up. The government was meant to be the employee, not the boss. It was designed to serve you, not rule over you. National sovereignty is a country's right to self-rule. Individual sovereignty is your right to self-rule. Both are about freedom and responsibility. The two were designed to work together, with government as the hired help, not the master. The people were always meant to be in charge, but over time, that line blurred. The roles started to shift, and the balance of power changed. Today, the idea of government by the people feels more like a slogan than reality for many. The connection between citizens and their government has weakened. We've drifted from being sovereigns to being managed citizens, following rules instead of making them, and often feeling powerless to change the system. How did that happen? How did we lose our place as the true bosses of our own government? Let's find out. Alright, before we get into how to move in your sovereign capacity, let's break down why the term sovereign citizen just doesn't add up. So, here's the deal. People in this movement claim they're sovereign, meaning totally independent, not under the control of any government. Sounds like freedom, right? But then, they add citizen to it. And a citizen is, by definition, someone who's part of a country, subject to its laws, and with rights and responsibilities that come from being in that system. So, how can you be both? It's like saying you're a vegetarian who eats steak for lunch. One cancels out the other. Now, these folks argue that they're not subject to US laws, stuff like taxes, traffic rules, whatever, because they're sovereign individuals. But the word citizen actually locks you right back under US jurisdiction. Being a citizen means you're part of the club, and you follow the club rules. That's literally what the 14th Amendment is all about. If you're born or naturalized here, you're a US citizen, with all the protections and obligations that come with it. After the Civil War, this amendment made sure everyone born here had equal rights and protections, especially people who'd been enslaved. It overturned stuff like the Dred Scott decision, which had denied citizenship to black people. On top of that, Congress got the power to step in and enforce these rights, leading to big civil rights wins in the 20th century. Now I get it. Some of these legal terms sound official. You'll hear uniform commercial code thrown around, but in the hands of sovereign citizens, it's just legal-sounding nonsense. In real law, these concepts don't mean what they claim. Bottom line, you can't be a sovereign citizen. It's a contradiction, a mashup of two words that cancel each other out. If you're a citizen, you're in the system. If you're sovereign, you're not. Simple as that. Words like people, citizens, and subjects aren't just semantics. They define your legal reality. The language used in law isn't accidental, it's intentional, shaping the boundaries of your rights, your responsibilities, and even your relationship to authority. A subject obeys a ruler. Rights are whatever the monarch allows. In this system, your freedoms exist only at the pleasure of those in power and can be taken away at any moment. A sovereign, on the other hand, is the source of law, free unless harming others or breaking contracts. Sovereigns answer to no higher earthly authority, and their rights are considered inherent, not granted. In America's original design, we the people were sovereigns, delegating limited power to government. The government was meant to serve the people, not rule over them, with authority derived from the consent of the governed. A citizen, though, is a member of a political society with rights granted and regulated by government. Citizenship comes with benefits, but also with obligations and restrictions that can change over time. After the Civil War, the 14th Amendment created a new federal citizenship, making individuals subject to federal jurisdiction. This marked a shift in the balance of power between individuals and the state. As a citizen, your rights are privileges that can be modified or revoked. The government can change the terms, and you may find your freedoms limited by new laws or regulations. A sovereign owns the house. A citizen is a tenant with a lease. The difference is control. One holds true ownership. The other has conditional use, always subject to someone else's rules. This distinction shapes every interaction you have with the state. Whether you're dealing with taxes, law enforcement, or regulations, your status determines your rights and your leverage. Are you exercising a right or asking for permission? The answer affects how you live, work, and participate in society. That's not a small difference. It's everything. It's the foundation of your relationship with the law and with those who govern. Understanding this changes how you see your place in society. It empowers you to question, to seek clarity, and to know where you truly stand. It's the difference between being the boss and being managed. Which are you? The answer could redefine your entire approach to life and citizenship. How did sovereigns, once free and independent, become managed citizens under layers of bureaucracy? It was a slow drift, not a sudden or dramatic change, but a gradual transformation over decades. After the Civil War, the 14th Amendment created a new legal relationship, federal citizenship, with new obligations and responsibilities. The New Deal's Social Security Act required a number, creating a contract with the government and trading sovereignty for security and benefits. Licenses and permits followed, each one a contract. You ask for permission, agree to rules and regulations, and give up a bit of autonomy with every signature. Over time, government shifted from protecting rights to granting privileges, changing the social contract. We traded pieces of sovereignty for the convenience and perceived safety of being managed. Look in your wallet. Driver's license, credit cards, voter registration. Each is a contract. A driver's license isn't a right. It's a privilege you get by agreeing to government rules. Voter registration affirms your status as a citizen, subject to election laws. Even your birth certificate registers you with the state, creating a legal identity the government interacts with. These documents tie you to the administrative state, turning rights into regulated privileges. The more contracts you sign, the more you operate as a managed citizen. It's a subtle shift, but it changes your relationship with government. Are you living as a sovereign or as a legal entity managed by the state? Here's the key. A right is inherent and unalienable. A privilege is granted and can be taken away. Rights, like free speech or self-defense, exist by virtue of being human. Privileges, like driving or practicing medicine, require permission, fees, and compliance. Over time, we've confused privileges for rights, weakening our understanding of true freedom. When you act on a privilege, you comply with terms. When you stand on a right, you don't need permission. This distinction shapes your daily life, knowing when you must comply and when you can stand your ground. Understanding the difference empowers you. It's the line between being a supplicant and being sovereign. Don't let rights be redefined as privileges. Know the difference and act accordingly. Sovereignty is often lost quietly. through the seemingly mundane acts of paperwork and redefinition. It's a subtle process, often unnoticed until it's too late. Native American tribes were once sovereign nations, proud and independent. However, treaties and laws like the Dawes Act forced them to register, accept citizenship, and lose land, trading their inherent sovereignty for government-defined benefits and a promise of protection that often went unfulfilled. Today, building codes and permits mean you need permission to use your own property. What was once a personal decision now requires approval, a nod from the state. Education, while valuable, often teaches us to be compliant citizens, not sovereign individuals. The focus is on conformity, not critical thinking. We pledge allegiance to government, not to the principles of liberty and personal freedom. This allegiance is ingrained from a young age. The administrative state grows as we accept more contracts and regulations, often without question. Each form filled out is a small surrender of autonomy. It's not always sinister, just a system perpetuating itself, expanding its reach into every aspect of our lives. But the result is generations who never question their relationship to the state, accepting it as a given rather than a choice. Sovereignty is eroded not by force, but by fine print, by the details we overlook in our daily lives. To keep freedom, you have to notice what you're trading away. Every signature is a decision, every contract a potential compromise. Don't let your rights disappear in the paperwork. Stay vigilant and protect your sovereignty with awareness and intention. After all this, you have a choice, not to declare independence from your couch, but in how you think and act. Do you see yourself as a sovereign with inherent rights, or as a citizen defined by the system? Start asking, what rights am I trading for privileges? Is this law protecting me or controlling me? Read the fine print. Question what you're told is a right. Being sovereign means taking responsibility, staying informed, and standing up for your rights, even when it's hard. True freedom is about consenting to rules, not just following them. The power of we the people is alive only if you claim it. The choice is yours, so choose wisely. When you walk into a courthouse, it's easy to be overwhelmed by the grandeur, the tall columns, the echoing halls, the polished wood and marble. But remember, a courtroom and a court are not the same thing. The courtroom is just a stage, a carefully designed room filled with props meant to intimidate, impress, and create an air of authority. The flags, the gavel, the scales of justice, they're all symbols, not the substance. The real court is not the room itself, but the event that takes place within it. It's people coming together, under a specific set of rules and jurisdiction, to resolve a dispute or seek justice. True authority doesn't come from the building or the ornate symbols on the walls. It comes from the people involved, their claims, their willingness to participate, and the legitimacy of the process they agree to. Most people mistake the impressive scenery for real justice, but often they're just entering a place of commerce, where legal matters are processed like transactions, not a true court of law. The real question isn't about the building you're in, but about the process you're participating in. Are you truly seeking justice, or just moving through a bureaucratic system? Ask yourself, are you in a genuine court of law where your rights are fully recognized, or are you in an administrative tribunal where you're reduced to just a case number on a docket? The system often relies on your ignorance of this crucial difference. Many people never realize that the process they're consenting to may not be designed to serve their best interests. People walk in expecting justice, but too often they're simply agreeing to a process that benefits the system, not themselves. Understanding this distinction is the first step to protecting your rights. Remember, the true power to create a real court lies with the people, their knowledge, their consent, and their insistence on a fair process, not with the room or its decorations. Don't let the scenery fool you. Look past the surface and always question what kind of justice you're really being offered. In law, words are weapons. Legalese is a code, not plain English. Every phrase, every term, is carefully chosen to carry a specific meaning, often one that's very different from what you might expect in everyday conversation. If you don't know the code, you can't defend yourself. The legal system is built on this specialized language, and without understanding it, you're left vulnerable and confused, unable to fully protect your rights or interests. For example, person in legal terms can mean a corporation, not just a human being. This single word can change the entire context of a case, shifting responsibility or liability in ways you might never imagine. When addressed as a person in court, you're often being treated as a corporate fiction. This means the court may see you as a legal entity, not as a living individual, which can have serious consequences for your case. Understand in legalese means to stand under authority, not just to comprehend. So, when you say you understand, you're not just saying you get it, you're agreeing to submit to the court's power. Saying yes to "do you understand" is a verbal trap. It's consent to their jurisdiction. Many people unknowingly give up their rights with a single word, not realizing the legal implications. Legal documents are filled with these traps, and most people sign without knowing what they're agreeing to. The fine print is often packed with terms that can bind you in unexpected ways, making it crucial to read and question everything. Everyday terms like motor vehicle or residence have specific legal meanings that pull you into a commercial world. What you think is a simple word may actually be a legal term that changes your rights and obligations. The officials know this. They count on your ignorance. Judges, lawyers, and court staff are trained in this language, and they often assume you don't know the difference. To protect yourself, question every word and ask for plain definitions. Don't assume anything. If something isn't clear, demand an explanation in simple terms before you agree or respond. In court, words are contracts. Every answer you give, every document you sign, can be used as evidence of your consent or agreement, even if you didn't fully understand it. If you don't know what you're agreeing to, you're at their mercy. The legal system is unforgiving to those who don't speak its language, and mistakes can be costly. Learn the language or risk being controlled by it. Take the time to study legal terms, ask questions, and seek help when you need it. Knowledge is your best defense. In law, ignorance isn't bliss, it's vulnerability. The more you know, the better you can protect yourself from the hidden traps of legal language. We celebrate freedom, but most people are legal subjects, not sovereign individuals. The system manages populations, not liberates them. The Emancipation Proclamation didn't grant true sovereignty. It shifted ownership from private to federal. Today, most citizens are wards of the state, dependent, not free. Privileges like Social Security come at the cost of absolute rights. True freedom means being sovereign, not managed. If you need government permission for basic life choices, you're not truly free. Most have traded sovereignty for the illusion of security. Not every rule is true law. True law is simple. Don't harm others, honor your contracts. Statutes, codes, and ordinances are corporate policies, not the law of the land. Governments operate as corporations. Their statutes are bylaws for employees and those who consent. By getting licenses or registering, you contract to follow these corporate rules. If you consent, you're treated as an employee or franchisee. The traffic code and tax code are company policies, not universal law. If you join the company, you follow the policies, or face consequences. Know the difference, or you'll be managed by corporate rules. Your birth certificate is more than a record. It's a contract you never knowingly signed. When your parents registered your birth, they created a legal fiction, an all-caps name, a corporate entity owned by the state. The state uses this entity to collateralize debt. You become the surety for its obligations. Every license or registration you get is a contract to act as trustee for this entity. These contracts convert your rights into privileges. A right is inherent. A privilege is granted and can be revoked. By participating in this system, you tacitly agree to be governed by statutes, not by natural law. You're bound by paper chains starting from birth. The system is built on your unknowing consent. Freedom is lost, one form at a time. In court, the key question is, who are you, legally? Your status determines which laws apply and what rights you have. If you don't declare your status, the court assigns one, usually as a defendant or debtor. There are two main statuses: sovereign individual or corporate person. A sovereign stands under common law, with unalienable rights. A person is a subject of statutes. Most people unknowingly accept the status of a corporate entity by answering to their all-caps name. The court's process is designed to confirm your subordinate status. If you don't assert your sovereignty, you're managed as a subject. Know your status, or the system will define it for you. Your fate depends on it. Every court case rests on three pillars: status, jurisdiction, and adjudication. Most people focus only on arguing facts, missing the crucial first two. Status: who are you, sovereign or corporate person? If you don't rebut their presumption, you lose. Jurisdiction: the court must have authority over the subject and you. It's not automatic. Most people grant it by mistake. Only after status and jurisdiction are set does adjudication, the trial, begin. By then, if you've conceded status and jurisdiction, the outcome is a formality. You're just there to settle a commercial account. Arguing facts won't help if you've already agreed to their rules. Understand the pillars, or you're playing a losing game. The real battle is before the trial even starts. Courts are businesses, not just halls of justice. Fines, fees, and tickets are revenue streams for local governments. When charged, a commercial account is opened against your legal fiction. The court acts as a collection agency, and you're the surety for the debt. Plea bargains are about efficient revenue, not mercy. If you can't pay, they'll garnish wages or suspend licenses. It's all about collecting. The language of justice hides a business transaction. Judges are administrators managing revenue, not just arbiters of truth. When you see the court as a profit center, the process makes sense. Your freedom is secondary to their bottom line. Don't mistake business for justice. If you feel angry, overwhelmed, or even hopeless when facing the legal system, know that you're not alone. These emotions are completely normal, but don't let them defeat you or make you give up. Instead, let them fuel your determination to understand and reclaim your power. The very first step to reclaiming your power is through education. Knowledge is your greatest ally when it comes to navigating the complexities of the law. Take the time to learn the truth about the law, your personal sovereignty, and your legal status. Don't just accept what you're told. Dig deeper and seek out reliable sources. Always question everything. Never blindly accept authority or official statements. The more you ask, the more you'll uncover about how the system really works. Read every official document carefully. Pay close attention to the details and see who it's really addressed to. Sometimes, the smallest detail can make the biggest difference. Learn to recognize the difference between a true court of law and an administrative tribunal. Not all legal settings are created equal, and knowing where you stand is crucial. Understand how jurisdiction works, and be careful not to grant it by mistake. Jurisdiction determines who has power over your case, and sometimes your actions or words can give it away without you realizing. Remember, the system's power is built on your ignorance and your unknowing consent. When you don't know your rights, it's easy for others to take advantage. Withdraw your ignorance, and you can also withdraw your consent. The more you know, the less power the system has over you. This isn't about being a so-called sovereign citizen or a rebel. It's about being informed, calm, and empowered. True strength comes from knowledge, not confrontation. Make it a habit to study the Constitution, the Uniform Commercial Code, and contract law. These are the foundations of your rights and responsibilities. Your rights are incredibly powerful, but they only work for you if you know how to use them. Practice asserting them with confidence and clarity. Stop seeing yourself as a victim of the system. Start seeing yourself as a student and master of the law. Every bit of knowledge you gain is a step toward true empowerment. Your freedom is not something to be handed to you. It's yours to claim, to defend, and to cherish. The journey starts now. Get to work and take control of your legal destiny.